Guys, what's going on? Druzy here, back again with another South Park Phone Destroyer video, and today's video is pretty simple. We're talking about the balance changes that have been announced that will be taking effect here for the 1st of February. Now, there is going to be a change to member berries, sort of, kind of. We'll get into all that here as we go through this video. I'm a little disappointed with the balance changes. I expected more. Didn't get what, we all expected. We'll get into all that. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised anymore. I'm just going to be honest with this game and just the direction that it's gone with certain things and decisions that are being made. Now, first and foremost, let's not take any and all criticism that we may or may not have with what I'm going to discuss in this video on Toller. She is not responsible for what happens within this game. She is the community manager. Her main job is to communicate to us, same as Buck used to and same as Steve used to a long time ago in this game now. Toller has been our community manager she's been here, she's been with the company for a while from what I understand, but as far as community manager, I think she's been community manager for the last couple, at least year and a half or so. But let's not take any anger that we may not have about the changes on Toller, please. Thank you, and that's all I have to say about that. All right, with these things, with the weekly timetable, not really super exciting. There's a 24-hour event today. There is going to be a 3-day token event Tuesday through Thursday, and then another event for the Friday through the weekend that covers Kyle, or Bounty Hunter Kyle. So that's really about it to talk about that. The upcoming balance changes. So they are actually changing the way New Kid Shockwave Stun works going into this coming next Tuesday. So here it is, the balance updates that many of you have been waiting for. Yes, member bears are on the list, sort of. Take a look at the changes of what you can expect to see next Tuesday. So not tomorrow, the following week. Let us know your thoughts of these changes to see in the future. We got New Kid enemies caught in the New Kid Shockwave are stunned for 1 second. Now with 2 seconds, there is a little extra time to deal with the heavier enemies that will get knocked back far. I don't think this was really a groundbreaking change to add 1 second to New Kid Stun. I mean, honestly, if the units that you really need to worry about as far as coming at your New Kid and doing damage to things like Man Bear Pig or any other major tank, realistically, 1 extra second isn't really going to help you much. So I think in the lower arenas, this might help you deal with cows a little bit easier. It's the only thing I can think of the reason for this change. Outside of that, I don't get it. That's just my opinion. For Alien Clyde getting a buff, a pretty hefty buff, I might add, with what he's doing. While Alien Clyde's total power damage has been higher than Hookane Clyde's parrot, delayed damage has not been useful, which is true. The animation of him throwing his lobster does take quite a while. With stronger poison ticks which spread to enemies near the target, which is a new change to this ability, Alien Clyde will be a valid alternative to his adventure-themed counterpart. So yeah, he gets a 25% health buff, 25% attack buff to his base stats. His power damage is increased by 30% of the total damage, and the power duration is 50% decreased. So it doesn't last as long. It hits a little bit harder, but the total power damage is upped 35%, and the poison now spreads to the ground units near the target. So it basically has similar properties to what Marine Craig does, right? The Marine Craig will hit the New Kid and poison units around it. Well, now it will, whatever it hits, as far as with the poison, that poison will spread. I don't know if this poison damage will actually do the same amount of tick damage to all units that are affected by the poison, or just the unit that it initially hits. We'll have to figure that out in some testing. I would assume it would hit and do all the damage to the units at equal amount of strength for the poison damage, but I don't know. This card, this is going to make Alien Clyde much more useful. This is kind of weird change. Sci-Fi's already in a really good spot. I don't know why you're making it better, or at least changing Alien Clyde. Yeah, this is going to be really nice for Team Wars. Alien Clyde is already good for Team Wars. He's really good at countering a lot of cards that could be very annoying for Team Wars play, and this just makes him almost a necessity, I think, going forward. I don't know there's going to be many cards like if you have Alien Clyde versus Hookane Clyde potentially, even though Hookane Clyde could chip New Kid, Alien Clyde is better now. Now, will this poison also spread to new kid or just the enemy units? It says ground units, so I assume it would not affect new kid. We don't know until we'll see. I mean, it could happen, but you could potentially Marine Craig and Alien Clyde a unit and potentially do, but poison doesn't stack on top of each other, so that is one thing. If you guys didn't know that, poison doesn't stack on top of each other. So I would assume that it wouldn't be able to hit both at the same time if you use both those units, but will this be able to poison new kid? I guess we'll have to wait and see. In the description, it says no, but you know that glitches happen and things happen, so it could happen. Woodland Critters is getting a buff. We believe that in the right hands, Woodland Critters can be powerful. True. But having a long charge duration reduces the opportunities to play them well. That's also true. With near constant power availability, getting these plays out should be easier. So the charge time on Woodland Critters has been nerfed buffed dramatically, sorry. So the charge will come back every 4 seconds versus every 10 seconds. So you're going to get Woodland Critters charged back significantly faster. Now, if you just run Woodland Critters with Santa or Hanky, you could get it every 2 seconds, which could be insane, and you can make Woodland Critters insanely strong. I think this is a solid buff for Woodland Critters. I think this could potentially come back to haunt them in the future, and this may be reworked back down. Look for a lot of Woodland Critters packs to be coming out here in the near future, because this is going to make Woodland Critters a little bit more viable, I believe. And they're already a fun card to play. This makes them more funner. I know that's not a word. It's just funner to say. See what I did there? So Shield Maiden Wendy getting a huge buff. This doesn't maybe look like a huge buff on the surface. Shield Maiden Wendy is easily one of the top 3 best legendaries in this game right now, period. She is insanely strong. Now people will be like, no, Drew, it's Psalm, and it's Ink and Craig, and it's Satan, and it's all these other... No. Shield Maiden Wendy is a top 3 legendary. Easy. This just makes her now, you have to play her. Basically, all this buff is saying is you must now play. If you play Fantasy and you don't play Shield Maiden Wendy, then you're doing it wrong. Because of her power duration scaled with levels, Shield Maiden Wendy was able to almost keep constant invincibility. This is true beyond level 4. So we made every level have the same duration as a fully upgraded level 4. Added health should cover the need for shorter power duration. So basically, what they're doing is they're deciding, okay, she was shielding too often. True. But the fact that now people, when they run Fantasy because of the huge buff to Kyle of the Drow Elves, you're just getting her invincibility all the time anyways. This really doesn't do anything. You're not stopping the power duration to the level that you think you are, because every run that runs Shield Maiden Wendy is also running Kyle of the Drow Elves. Again, if you're not running Shield Maiden Wendy and Kyle of the Drow Elves in Fantasy, you're doing it wrong. I don't know what else to tell you. Those two cards are probably the strongest fantasy cards right now in the theme. And I don't know. That's all I can say. So she gets a health increase of 22% power duration, of 14% as far as it's increased in the duration. The power duration scaling has been removed completely. Okay, so every, however many seconds, her power comes back, same as it is at level 4. That again is going to come back to bite them, I believe, at some point. Okay, member berries. This is not at all, in any way, shape, or form, what any of us asked for. Just going to say that right off the rip with member berries. This doesn't change anything, in my opinion. I don't see this changing anything. You now have a maximum spread of 2. Cool. The aura is still the same. The glitch and bug of member berries is probably still going to be there, which is the biggest hindrance of this card and the biggest cancer of this card. The fact that when they deploy, they sometimes stay on the field, which they're probably not supposed to. And then you can just spread even more and cause even more chaos. So losing against a lucky member berries play has felt terrible. I don't know if lucky is the word, but sure, we'll go with that. With less spread, the worst scenario should happen less often. In theory, we will keep an eye on more opportunities to make the card less frustrating. Good luck. To play against while also being fun to play with. Also good luck. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say just remove member berries from the game until they fix it. That's one way to deal with the problem. I don't think that's the ultimate way to deal with the problem. It's one way. And I don't think it's going to solve the problem to remove him from the game completely. Um, I feel like most people haven't invested in member berries. There's no reason to. Member berries doesn't give you a reason to buy packs of them, to upgrade them to high level. I think that that's what you need to do ultimately to change member berries. Make the spread be affected based on level. But then the problem there lies, Drew. Okay, well, if you do that, then you're just incentivizing people to whale on the card and then make the card to where if people have it whaled to a high level, they would just be insanely strong, I guess. But that's the only way I could see to make it fair at this point. You got to do something with the level scaling to affect the way this card functions, and you've got to fix the bug of it multiply deploying when it shouldn't do that in the first place. Like people want to complain that the main focus and the main annoyance of member berries is the fact that they can deploy high level cards. I think that you can't take that aspect away. If you take that aspect away, then the card becomes less valuable. I mean, the change to Call Girl was a necessity of the multiple changes that they've now done to her. I think that Call Girl still is what it is. But the fact that this is the only change to superheroes, and again, this card is still insanely strong, it still makes superheroes the strongest theme in the game, and that doesn't change. It doesn't change. This change doesn't do that. It doesn't make that go away. So be prepared for more member berries to continue in the near future. So Scissor Stewart is also getting a nerf-ish, sort of, kind of. With this change, Scissor Stewart will stick to the front line a little bit better and not get in safely behind other units before his attack speed buff is up. We also shaved off a small buff he gained from his 8th attack, so the buff will truly cap at the 7th attack. So his movement speed has been slightly increased. As far as his movement, his maximum movement speed buff has been decreased 41%, and his maximum attack speed buff has been lowered 1%. So, okay. So he'll move a little bit slower, so he won't be as quickly with his 7th attack getting to New Kid and all that stuff. His attack damage is still going to be the same. So he could still potentially take down 2 bars if he's not dealt with properly. I don't think this makes Scissor Stewart less annoying. I don't really know what the best answer is for Scissor Stewart at this point, to be honest with you. I think he just is what it is, and they don't seem to really be doing anything to change it. So I think we just got to kind of deal with how he functions. I mean, if you're running sci-fi, everyone runs Scissor Stewart that runs sci-fi. Or again, if you're not, you're doing it wrong. That's just going to be the theme of this video. If you're not doing this, then you're doing it wrong. You're welcome. So yeah, Scissor Stewart's really strong. He's really good. I get that at early levels that you may not have him to good level, or something like that. But once you get him to a decent level, at least level 3 or above, especially 4 or above, Scissor Stewart's a monster. And again, I get that that's going to take time to get unless you whale on the game. But Scissor Stewart's really good. Look for Scissor Stewart packs upcoming soon. And Shield Minded Wendy. So yeah, that's the balance changes. We got what, 5 changes, 6 if you want to count New Kid. We waited 2 months. We get 5 changes. We get a couple changes with cards that needed it. Member Bears definitely needed a change. Scissor Stewart definitely needed a change. I don't know if these are the changes they needed. Not a whole lot else was done. I know that cows are still plaguing lower arenas. They weren't dealt with this time around. I don't really know of what other cards are really huge annoyance factors. People want to say Psalm is a big problem, want to say Ink and Craig's a big problem, Satan's a big problem. I don't really know how best to adjust those cards. I think Ink and Craig, he is what he is. Psalm, I think, is actually in a more balanced state with the change of the way his charge functions than people give it credit for. Yeah, he's annoying at lower levels, but in all honesty, Psalm really isn't that big of a problem. People say Mecha Timmy's really annoying. Yeah, but Mecha Timmy you can easily kill with a lightning bolt, and almost everyone's running adventure right now, so you can easily deal with Mecha Timmy. A level 6 lightning bolt beats a level 5 Mecha Timmy. Just saying. So he can be dealt with. A lot of these cards that are considered the most annoying ones can be dealt with. So I don't really think that that's really the issue. Counter cards need to be a focus of people's decks more often. I think people forget that they need counters. Power bind needs to be played if you're running mystical. If you're not, you're doing it wrong. Because there's so many good charge abilities, so many good charge characters. If you have stuff like that, it's again, they're not that annoying if they're dealt with properly. So I get that there are other legendaries that maybe need some level of adjustment, maybe not over levels or over adjustments, but we're not quite there yet. And 5 cards after 2 months of waiting is kind of a waste of everyone's time. You didn't really change the game. You made Woodland Critters better, and you made Alien Clyde potentially insane. Um, but other than that, that's all I got. So I don't really know what else to tell you guys. I'm a little disappointed with these balance changes. I don't know why I expect anything less, because that seems to be all we get lately. What are your guys' thoughts and feelings? Again, please don't take this out on Tola. This isn't her fault. Her job is to just help us communicate with the devs, and the devs communicate with us. That's all she does. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. She does a great job of it. I'm just saying, like, don't take it out on Toller. It's not the community manager's fault that the game is in the state that it's in. Um, and yeah, I don't know. This game's really hard to play right now, and this game didn't really get easier to play with these changes. So I don't know what else to tell you guys. I'm going to try to make more content, make more videos here on the channel as best I can, try to update some of the beginner guides as we go forward here with the new year. I think that I can comfortably make some new changes now, with some of these changes being irrelevant overall. So I have some ideas for some content here coming up in the next few weeks. See how that all pans out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I probably rambled on for too long here. I do apologize for that. If you guys do enjoy the videos and the channel, please let me know down below with a comment, with a like, any of those things. If you want to subscribe, that's great. I appreciate any subscriptions come to the channel. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. Would be huge and awesome for this year. If you feel like doing that, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the continued support here on the channel, and you guys know who it is. And until next time, guys.